What's up, guys? Last week's video wrapped up a family fishing trip up in the last frontier of Homer, Alaska. Although we managed to snag some huge fish and have some epic adventures, Padre's fishing itch was not scratched. He invited me to go with them down on another fishing adventure, this time very much south, to the land of Costa Rica. After arriving in San Jose, we drove 3 hours north to the highlands of La Fortuna. It was a crazy mountainous drive through jungles and waterfalls, and we quickly realized it would be a highlight of the trip, including these super cute coatis that beg for food wherever you go. All along the highway you can find these roadside cafes that usually have coffee and simple food staples, often have bars, and sometimes have your high school radio. We stopped at this one for a quick bite before completing our trip. La Fortuna is essentially a jungle town, and our Airbnb, the Glass House Arenal, was perfectly situated for it, giving us a view of the jungle without giving neighbors a view of us. Except for this little gecko. The next morning we got these two neighbors poking their heads in, and we ran into town and spotted some locals cooling off in a small river. Thought we would join them and worked our way down the banks. After that, it was a quick jaunt over to the La Fortuna waterfall, with tons of great places for pictures. An easy hike down reveals the lagoon, but swimming is not encouraged. After the hike, we needed some caffeine and headed north to the nearby Northfields Coffee Tour. And this place has been family owned and operated for a long time and offers tours, food, and of course, all types of coffee. Our main barista was frankly excellent, very entertaining as well as educational, really seemed to enjoy what he did at a very high level and made our experience truly exceptional. It was delicious. We stopped by the gift store to pick up some goodies. Afterwards, we hit up a local hot springs and went to bed early for fishing the next morning. So at the crack of dawn the next morning, we headed down to Lake Arenal and met our tour guide who would take us fishing on the lake. After spending a few hours cruising around a few different spots, and no matter how beautiful the women were casting in the early morning sun, we were not able to land any fish. We toured around and had some awesome views, but unfortunately we had to head in skunk. Lucky for the tour guide, he had a restaurant where he served us discounted beer, chicken wings, and local favorites before we headed back to our Airbnb to nurse our sunburns and plan for our final event of the evening, heading to the Hanging Bridges National Park. This Hanging Bridges National Park was aptly named due to it being comprised of a series of suspension bridges overlooking these very, very high gorges cut out by rivers. It's obviously a great spot for wildlife and offers panoramic views of the mountainside, and if you look closely, you can see all kinds of animals and creatures lurking about, including this tree frog, these incredible dream come true leafcutter ants. I finally found out what a spider monkey looks like, and the least exciting gray squirrel. The next morning we were off on another 5-hour road trip to the second destination, but we randomly stopped by another highway cafe that looked good. This roadside empanada tent that had delicious condensed milk fruit smoothies, and this lady hand pressing and grilling these corn tortillas. After investigating their menu, we chose some meat-filled empanadas, and they were probably the best we've ever had.